On July 26th, the cosmos draws a sharp line in the sand. Mercury, the divine voice, the messenger of mind, thought, and speech, enters a fiery confrontation with Lilith, the primal scream of the exiled feminine. This is not a gentle whisper. In the night, this is a spiritual standoff, a soul reckoning, a karmic portal for those who were once forced to kneel, now being commanded to rise. Mercury square Lilith is the first sovereignty test of your new timeline. The universe isn't asking politely anymore, it's demanding. This alignment doesn't knock. It crashes through the door of your silence and asks one question. Will you speak? Not just in words, but in frequency, in truth, in fire, in soul. This is the moment when the queen is summoned, not to be seen, not to be adored, but to be heard. No more softening the message to appease, no more shrinking your knowing to make others comfortable. The celestial clock strikes now. The voice you once buried is cracking through the tomb of your past lifetimes. The ghost of every time you bit your tongue is wailing through your spirit. Lilith rises not to be sweet, but sovereign. And Mercury, the mental trickster, the clever communicator, is standing directly across her path. Will your mind betray your soul, or will your truth cut through illusion like lightning through silence? The queen within you is being summoned. Her silence ends on July 26th. You were not born for obedience. You are not stitched together from stardust to be palatable. Your spirit carries the scream of the witches burned, the wisdom of the high priestesses buried, the sacred rage of the daughters of the void who remember every time they were told, be quiet, be small, be nice. But on this day, this divine square between Mercury and Lilith, the spell of silence is shattered. The queen returns, not in gold and luxury, but in thunder and prophecy. This is your moment of sacred confrontation. Every time you swallowed your truth to avoid conflict, every time you hid your intuition behind logic, every time you let someone else speak for you, that karmic weight is being lifted, but only if you choose to roar. Mercury is asking, do you know what you believe? Lilith is demanding, do you have the courage to say it? The queen archetype within you is being tested by fire. Not to destroy you, but to prove you to yourself. This is the war, between manipulation and intuition, between conformity and sovereignty. The voice you've denied is the voice that will free you. If your throat trembles, let it. If your heart races, it means you're close. If your truth burns, let it scorch everything that was built on your silence. This celestial event is a karmic mirror. Lilith is not a villain. She is the shadow of every woman, every soul who dared to say no. She is the first breath of rebellion, the refusal to be controlled, the original archetype of the untamed. And Mercury, the scribe of heaven, doesn't get to hide in neutrality anymore. He must choose truth or manipulation. And so must you. You're not watching this video by accident. Your guides brought you here because something ancient in you is remembering. July 26 is not just a transit, it's a timeline rupture. A portal where the path of submission ends and the path of sovereignty begins. And it all hinges on one thing, your voice. Not just speech, your frequency. Your energetic yes and no. Your unapologetic soul print. If you've been feeling pressure in your throat, dreams where you're screaming but no sound comes out, visions of past lives where you were silenced, you were already standing in this fire. This is a spiritual initiation. The queen must speak not for the crowd, but for the crown of her own becoming. This is your line in the sand. Will you betray yourself again, or will you speak even if your voice shakes, even if the world trembles? This queen test isn't about elegance or eloquence, it's about electricity. The universe doesn't care if your words are perfect. It cares if they are real, raw, untamed. This is a moment where the sacred feminine, which has been gagged by centuries of patriarchal programming, kicks down the door. Your sovereignty test begins when you stop negotiating your truth. You don't need permission. You don't need validation. You don't need consensus. Mercury square Lilith forces you to stop hiding behind intellect and step into embodied wisdom. This is the rebellion of the soul. This is when you stop trying to make your truth digestible for those still asleep. The queen doesn't lower her crown to fit into corrupted systems. She outgrows them. On this day, the planets are screaming through your nervous system. Stop apologizing for knowing what you know. Whether it's in a relationship, a career, a spiritual path, the truth you've been holding back is now toxic in your system. You will either speak it and be liberated, or suppress it and be broken. You weren't born to whisper. You were born to roar divinity. Let's be clear. Mercury square Lilith is not subtle. It's volcanic. If you felt emotional surges, throat blockages, sudden resentment, or unexplainable grief, congratulations, you're in the test. But this isn't punishment. This is activation. The queen voice is not born in silence. It's forged in fire. You're not being asked to be agreeable. You're being asked to be authentic. And there's a difference. This transit will bring confrontations, conversations, and decisions that feel uncomfortable because they are the gateway to your power. Every time you've hidden your magic to stay safe, every time you've quieted your inner scream to avoid being called too much, too loud, or too intense, you've stored that energy in your soul's basement. On July 26th, that basement door swings open. The queen doesn't run from chaos. She speaks from the center of it. She who was once burned for speaking truth now returns as fire itself. This is your coronation, and your words are the ritual. One of the first signs that you are passing through your sovereignty test is the overwhelming urge to speak truth, no matter the cost. You may feel an unexplainable fire rising in you, a sudden clarity, a message that demands to be spoken. Aloud, you may find yourself unable to stay silent in situations where you once would have smiled politely. That's not coincidence, it's sacred uprising. Lilith is rising through your throat. Mercury is sharpening your tongue with purpose. Whether it's a truth you've buried in a relationship, an injustice you can no longer tolerate, or a boundary you now feel ready to enforce, this is not rudeness, it is rebirth. You're not here to maintain harmony by betraying your essence. You're here to alchemize chaos into clarity. If your voice shakes, speak anyway. The test is not whether others listen. The test is whether you dare to say what your soul has always known. Suddenly, you're remembering moments you thought you forgot. Times in childhood when your truth was mocked. Past relationships where you were punished for speaking up. Lifetimes. Yes, even ancient ones, where your voice cost you everything. These memories aren't resurfacing to torment you. They're rising to be released. Lilith doesn't let you bypass the pain. She makes you walk through it with fire in your heart and a crown on your head. Mercury is replaying the script of suppression in your mental theater, not to make you a victim, but to wake up the queen. The pain is your proof. You are no longer willing to repeat that silence. These flashbacks are invitations, rituals of remembrance. It's time to witness them, honor them, and then let them burn. The queen does not build empires on repression. She builds them on truth. If you've felt rage lately, a primal volcanic, soul-deep anger, don't suppress it. This is not irrational fury. This is sacred fuel. Rage is the sword of the silenced queen. It is your body's last line of defense against betrayal. And in this Mercury Lilith square, that rage is a compass. It points you toward every place you've given your power away. Every moment you made yourself smaller. Every person who benefited from your silence. This rage isn't here to destroy. It's here to liberate. Feel it, move it, speak it. Don't let it rot into resentment. Let it erupt into revolution. When rage is married to wisdom, it becomes sovereignty. That's the alchemy Mercury and Lilith are offering. Your voice is not a threat. It's the crown you wear when you finally say, no more. Another sign of the queen test is the ache of being misunderstood. Your intentions are pure, but people twist them. Your truth is clear, but others project their fears onto it. You feel misrepresented, like your essence is being lost in translation. Don't take this as a signal to stay quiet. Take it as a call to clarify. This distortion is not your cue to dim, it's your cue to define. Lilith doesn't seek approval. Mercury doesn't beg for validation. Together, they carve truth through misunderstanding. If people cannot grasp your truth, let them stretch. You are not here to be simple. You are here to be sovereign. And sovereignty means being willing to stand alone, misunderstood but aligned, until the world catches up to your frequency. The dream world is opening. Prophetic symbols, forgotten lifetimes, strange memories surfacing like waves. These aren't just dreams, they are transmissions. Lilith speaks in symbols. Mercury encodes the message. In this square, the veil between worlds is thinned, and your subconscious is screaming. You may dream of being silenced in temples, punished for sacred knowledge, or living lives where you were the oracle who warned, but no one listened. These are not fantasies. They are soul downloads. Your sovereignty test is echoing through dimensions, and every vision, every whisper from the other side is saying the same thing. You've done this before, but this time you get to win. The queen has awakened in your sleep. Now it's time to speak her into the waking world. If you've felt tightness, burning, constriction, or even mysterious pain in your throat, don't ignore it. This is the energetic echo of words, unspoken, truths buried, and power suppressed. The throat chakra is your divine instrument of expression, and Mercury, the ruler of this center, is under tension. When Lilith squares him, it's like lightning, striking a sealed dam. The pressure must be released. This isn't just physical, it's spiritual. Your voice has been blocked not just by society, but by contracts you made to stay small in order to survive. But the queen does not survive. She thrives. This pain in your throat is the cry of the oracle within, begging to speak again. Do not suppress it with distraction or denial. Sit with it. Breathe into it. Place your hand over your neck and whisper, I reclaim my voice. This sensation is not a symptom, it's a signal. The queen is knocking from within. Will you let her out? In the middle of your day, a sentence drops in your mind like thunder. You hear words you've never thought before. Insights pierce through confusion like lightning across stormy skies. These aren't just good ideas, they're downloads. Mercury is transmitting at full power, and Lilith is tearing down the filters. You're receiving unfiltered truth from your higher self, from your lineage, from your soul's ancient memory. This is the voice you silenced long ago, now flooding back in a tidal wave. You may feel compelled to write, speak, sing, or channel. Don't second guess it. These messages are not from ego, they are from your eternal knowing. This is your divine script returning. These truths may be uncomfortable. They may challenge your old self. That's the point. The queen doesn't repeat what's safe. She speaks what's sacred. In this wisdom pouring in now, it's the script you came here to deliver. Unedited, unapologetic, unstoppable. All 7 signs point to one thing. Your voice is not just a tool, it's a portal, a gateway between timelines, a frequency that commands reality to realign. Mercury square. Lilith is not just about communication. It's about creation through vibration. Every time you speak your truth, not perform it, but embody it, you crack the matrix. You realign your soul contract. You rewrite the script your ancestors couldn't. The queen doesn't speak to explain herself. She speaks to declare reality. That's what you're being trained to do. This sovereignty test is showing you that the words you withhold are the chains you wear, and the words you unleash, they are spells, sacred ones. Every syllable can break karmic binds. Every truth-telling becomes a ritual. Speak not to be heard. Speak because it's who you are. What happens when you pass the test? When you speak the truth that terrifies you, time bends, reality rearranges. People who once controlled you fall away. Paths you couldn't see before become illuminated. This is how power works in the spiritual realm. It doesn't shout, it shifts. Your voice is the key that unlocks the door to your highest timeline. One confession, one declaration, one sacred no, and the multiverse responds. Mercury delivers the message. Lilith infuses it with power, and you are the living altar where it all becomes real. Don't underestimate what one moment of truth can do. Your queenhood is not in the future. It begins the moment you stop pretending and start speaking. Yes, the world might tremble, but your soul will finally breathe. There are invisible contracts made in pain, written in fear, that keep your voice buried. Agreements with ancestors, past lovers, old lifetimes, societal roles. Stay silent to survive. Don't speak or you'll be punished. Be quiet and maybe they'll love you. These contracts were necessary once. but now they are poison. Mercury square Lilith rips these documents to shreds if you let it. You must consciously revoke these contracts. Speak aloud. I break every vow that silences my truth. You're not betraying your past, you're redeeming it. The queen does not beg to be heard. She speaks and the world rearranges. The spell of silence is over. It's time to write new vows, ones that honor your voice, your knowing, your fire. This is spiritual rebellion. This is soul sovereignty. The moment you speak the truth you feared, a revolution begins inside. You, not loud, not flashy, but irreversible. You'll feel it like a weight lifted from your chest, a fire awakening in your gut, a clarity you didn't know was possible. That's not imagination, it's soul alignment. The revolution isn't about attacking others, it's about remembering yourself. This Mercury Lilith alignment forces you to reclaim every piece of your voice that you left behind in old relationships, abandoned dreams, or past betrayals. You'll begin to realize you don't need permission to be powerful. You don't need consensus to be whole. And from that place, the queen rises, not because the world is ready, but because you are. Your revolution will not be televised. It will be whispered to your bones and screamed by your soul. When you rise and speak, you don't just heal yourself, you heal the entire lineage. Your ancestors, especially the feminine ones, are circling you now, listening, watching. They lived entire lives under the weight of silencing. Some were never allowed to learn to read. Others were punished for praying in their native tongue. Many were shamed for their magic, intuition, and sacred knowing. They are with you now, and when you finally speak, they are freed. Your voice is their liberation. You are the first queen in your bloodline to say, enough. The pain may feel ancient, because it is, but so is the power. Mercury is the pen. Lilith is the ink. And you are the scroll rewriting your family's destiny. Your voice is also creating the future. Every truth you dare to speak now becomes the air your spiritual descendants will breathe. You are not just breaking your silence, you're building a new world, one where the divine feminine is not feared, one where power and softness walk hand in hand, one where no girl is taught to be quiet just to be loved. Every queen who rises now creates the throne for the next one. This Mercury Lilith square is not just a personal test, it's a cosmic legacy moment. The universe is watching. The children of tomorrow are watching. And all they want to know is, did you speak when it mattered most? Let your answer be heard through galaxies. When Mercury mind, message, expression collides with Lilith, wild, raw, sacred, feminine truth, something miraculous happens. Self-mastery is born. This square is a sacred formula, an alchemical collision, designed to burn away your illusions. It is not comfortable, but it is consecrated. Lilith teaches you to feel. Mercury teaches you to translate. Together, they turn pain into poetry, rage into revolution, thought into thunder. If you can hold both the truth in your gut and the clarity in your mind, you become unstoppable. That's what this moment is for. Not chaos for chaos' sake, but transformation. This is your graduation from silence into sovereignty. The queen does not fear the storm, she becomes it. You once sought truth from others, gurus, lovers, authorities. But now, the voice you longed for has revealed its source. It's you. You are the oracle now, the queen, the messenger. You don't need translation. Your soul speaks fluently. What was once fragmented is now forming into frequency. This is what it means to pass the test, to stop asking for permission and start declaring your presence. Your voice is not a performance, it's a prophecy, and the world needs it now more than ever. Not the watered-down version, not the people-pleasing version, the raw, reverent, radiant truth. You've arrived. Now speak, not to convince, but to command. You're becoming. Make no mistake, speaking your truth has a cost. You will lose people, you will disrupt relationships. You will trigger projections, discomfort, and even rejection. But hear this clearly, Queen, what you lose is not your path, it's your prison. The people who leave when your truth is spoken were only ever in love with your silence. That was the contract. Break it, rewrite it, reclaim it. Lilith doesn't walk paths paved with approval. She blazes trails lit by self-respect. Mercury asks you now, can you stand in your knowing, even if no one claps? Even if your truth is called too much, too bold, too inconvenient? Because when you pass this test, what you gain is worth every loss. Your clarity, your boundaries, your inner throne. The queen is not afraid to be alone. She is afraid to live a life that isn't hers. Let the false fall away. Let the roar rise. This cosmic standoff is the death of the people pleaser. The part of you that twisted yourself into silence just to be loved, that dimmed your light to fit into spaces too small for your spirit. She is dying now, and in her place rises a sovereign being who knows. I am not here to be digestible. I am here to be divine. You're not too much. You are simply too awake for the rooms you are trying to fit into. Mercury square Lilith severs the final threads of codependency. It reminds you that you don't need to perform to be accepted. Your worth is not transactional. Your truth is not negotiable. The queen doesn't bargain with her power. She embodies it. This is your liberation. Let the version of you who was afraid to ruffle feathers dissolve. The one who emerges speaks not to soothe, but to ignite. Each time you speak, your soul crystallizes into form. Each word is a spell that calls your higher self into the body. You are no longer just imagining your power, you are becoming it. This is how timelines collapse and rebirth happens, not in the mind, but in the mouth. The sovereignty test is not passed through thoughts alone. It is passed through declaration. Through the moment you say, this is who I am now. No more pretending, no more dimming. That is when the quantum field shifts. That is when the cosmos moves in your favor. Mercury delivers your new identity. Lilith burns away the masks, and the queen takes her place, not in apology, but in absolute embodiment. You are not becoming the queen. You are the queen remembering. Speak accordingly. The greatest crown you will ever wear isn't made of jewels. It's made of vibration. It lives in your throat, in your truth, in your willingness to be seen and heard. That's where the real throne lives. Not outside of you, but deep within, pulsing in every unspoken truth, begging to be freed. Lilith reminds you that you were never meant to be tamed. Mercury reminds you that you were always meant to express the sacred. Together, they create the rite of passage you've been waiting for. This square is not an obstacle. It's an initiation into voice, into vision, into vibrational sovereignty. When you stop silencing yourself, you inherit a kingdom, the queendom of your soul. You do not need to be perfect to be powerful. You do not need to be soft to be holy. You just need to be honest. The queen has no use for performance, only presence. So now we come to the edge, the moment between silence and sovereignty, between fear and fire, between the lie that kept you small and the truth that sets you eternal. This is your benediction, your soul's anointing. Your voice is not a weapon, it's a crown. Speak, queen. The cosmos is listening. The ancestors are dancing. The timelines are trembling. And the world you were born to command is finally leaning in. What will you say? What will you declare? What spell of truth will you cast upon the fabric of your life? This is the moment your story changes, not because you waited, but because you dared. Your truth is holy. Your fire is sacred. Your voice is the temple, the sword, the miracle. No more hiding, no more shrinking, no more silence. You weren't born to echo. You were born to awaken the sky with your sound. Speak now. It's time. On July 26th, the heavens ignite a rare and sacred confrontation. Mercury squares Lilith, and with it comes a soul-rattling message for the chosen ones. You are being tested. This is not a simple planetary aspect. This is a spiritual summons, a moment of reckoning where voice meets silence, intellect meets raw emotion, and the queen within you is challenged to rise or retreat. Mercury, the ruler of thoughts, communication, and divine messages, locks eyes with Lilith, the wild, untamed frequency of the exiled feminine, the archetype of rage, rebellion, and unfiltered truth. This square is the first true sovereignty test of your current timeline. It marks a karmic gate where you must choose. Will you continue silencing yourself in the name of peace, or will you finally speak what your soul has known for lifetimes? The energy of this cosmic clash is not soft. It is confrontational, explosive, and sacred. It asks you not to whisper, but to roar divinity. The queen archetype is rising from within your bones. She who once bowed to survive is now being crowned in fire. But first, she must pass the test. The Mercury square surfaces buried truth, not to torment, but to liberate. You will feel it in your body, in your memories, in your dreams, in the lump in your throat that you can no longer ignore. This script unearths the 7 signs that prove you are moving through this test. A. Sudden urge to speak your truth or confront someone. A rising heat. A sacred defiance. An unshakable pull to stop pretending and say what needs to be said. Old memories of being silenced. Moments from childhood, past relationships, or even past lives where your voice was mocked, dismissed, or punished. Sacred. Rage bubbling from deep within. Not destructive chaos, but the fire of suppressed knowing rising to cleanse and command. Feeling misunderstood or misrepresented. A soul-deep ache when others cannot grasp the depth of your message or twist. Your intentions? Testing your resolve to still stand in your truth. Prophetic dreams and past life visions. Your subconscious opens portals, revealing ancient scripts in moments of spiritual suppression you are here to rewrite. Throat pressure, tightness, or mysterious pain, the energetic echo of your silencing, now pushing its way to the surface so your truth can finally be heard. Sudden downloads of wisdom or unexplainable. Truths, insights pouring into your consciousness that are not logical, but soul known, demanding to be expressed.